the jumps and the jumps and the pulses combined, yikes. Okay, so it is going to be, feet are out there. We're going to pulse, pulse, and on the third one down, you jump it. But alternative is going to be, they're out there. We're going to pulse it 2 times and toe it down, okay? So I'm going to do 10 with the jump. Then I'm going to do 10 with just up on the toes. 10 with the jump, 10 on the toes for our first 40, okay? So set the 10. I'm going to kind of shake it off after 10 and get right back in it again. And I'm going to do a little bit differently too. We'll kind of travel a little bit. So for me, go there. So the feet are there. Ready? And we're going to come down. Pulse, pulse, and jump. 1, pulse, pulse, and 2, pulse, pulse, and 3, pulse, pulse, and 4, pulse, pulse, and 5, pulse, pulse, and 6, pulse, pulse, and 7, pulse, pulse, and 8, pulse, pulse, and 9, pulse, pulse, and 10. And that twist is kind of fun. All right. Ready? Starting on this one, we're gonna go on the toes. That's 1 set of 10 down. Don't say how many more sets we have to do yet. We're just focusing on the 40 right now, right? Yeah. Once you get past this, it's like easy, right? All right. Ready? They're out there. 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Pulse, pulse, toes. Pulse, pulse, and toes. Pulse, pulse, and toes. It's 3. Pulse, pulse, and toes. 4. Pulse, pulse, and toes for 5. Pulse, pulse, and toes for 6. Pulse, pulse, and toes for 7. Pulse, pulse, and toes for 8. Pulse, pulse, and toes for 9. Pulse, pulse, toes for 10. Now, I have to admit, I'm not putting enough focus in on these. I'm not putting squeezing like I'm supposed to. I'm just doing moves. Now it's time to quit that, right? It's time to put focus in. So I want you to squeeze out those pulses and focus on that jump. Focus on it. Pull those shoulders back. Get proper form. Okay. So here, we're going to pulse it and jump this time. Focus, shoulders roll back. Okay, you can clamp some hands in front of you if you want me to for the focus. I'm just gonna hold my hands together like this. And do turns. Ready? Come on down. Pulse, pulse. 1, pulse, pulse. 2, pulse, pulse. 3, pulse, pulse. 4, pulse, pulse. 5, pulse, pulse. 6, pulse, pulse. 7, pulse, pulse. 8, pulse, pulse. 9, pulse, pulse. 10. All right. 3 down. All right, this time we're going to come up on the toes again, okay? You don't get anywhere if you don't put the work in, right? Ready for it. Feet are there. 3, 2, 1, go. Pulse, pulse. 1, pulse, pulse. 2, pulse, pulse. 3, pulse, pulse. 4, pulse, pulse. 5, pulse, pulse. 6, pulse, pulse. 7, pulse, pulse. 8, pulse, pulse. 9, pulse, pulse. 10. All right. Sit back in that chair like we were doing yesterday, right? But pulsing it. All right. That's 4 down. Now we're going to focus on 3, okay? I'll start on this side this time. Backwards. Oh no. Ready to go. Opposite direction for me. I like to change it up. It's just fun. Okay. Change it from what I'm looking at. It's like I'm looking at the cowboy hats, or I'm looking at the window with the shades, or I'm looking at the cross. Yes, please give me the strength. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah. All right. This time we got the jumps again. 3, 2, 1, go. Pulse, pulse. 1, pulse, pulse. 2, pulse, pulse. Yeah. 3, pulse, pulse. Come down. 4, pulse, pulse. Come down. 5, pulse, pulse. Come down. 6, pulse, pulse. Come down. 7, pulse, pulse. Come down. 8, pulse, pulse. Come down. 9, pulse, pulse. Come down. 10. All right. 5 down. All right. 2 more for the set that we're looking at. 1 more for this one. 2 more for the set. Turn the volume up because it was like really loud. Now it's like low. Okay, Google, turn the volume up. All right, to the toes. Starting on this side, that's right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, focus. Pulse, pulse, down. 1, pulse, pulse, down. 2, pulse, pulse, down. 3, pulse, pulse, down. 4, pulse, pulse, down. 5, pulse, pulse, down. 6, pulse, pulse, down. 7, pulse, pulse, down. 8, pulse, pulse, down. 9, pulse, pulse, down. 10. All right. That's 6. We got 1 more for this round, though. All right. We're going to split the difference on this one, okay? So this one, the first 5 you're going to jump. For the second 5, you're going to step it, okay? Because we're doing 3 rounds this time. I mean, it's all together. It's just my brain works that way, okay? Ready? All right, you're going to pulse it. Jump it for 5. 5, not 4, 5. Then we're going to change it up. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Pulse, pulse, down. 1, pulse, pulse, down. 2, pulse, pulse, down. 3, pulse, pulse, down. 4, pulse, pulse, down. 5, 1. Step it. Regroup. 3, 2, 1, go. Pulse, pulse, down. 1, pulse, pulse, down. 2, pulse, pulse, down. 3, pulse, pulse, down. 4, pulse, pulse, down. 5. 7 down. Okay. Now we have two rounds to do for this one. Okay. 1 round of jumps, 1 round of to the toes. And then we'll be on our final, okay? You can do this. Ready for it? Three, 2, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 6. 1, 2, 7. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 9. 1, 2, 10. To the toes. Ready? 3, 2. That cat's looking at me like, you're crazy, lady. 1, go. Pulse. Pulse. 1. Pulse. Pulse. 2. Pulse. Pulse. 3. Pulse. Pulse. 4. Pulse. It's supposed to come down one more time. 5. There we go. Pulse. Pulse. 6. 7. I'm supposed to be on my toes only. 8. 9. 10. Okay. I'm really ready for these today, but you know what? We can get even done. A little sit before we finish it off. All right, ready? Final 10. 5 with a jump while turning. 5 with a step on the toes with turning. Get that focus. Feet are there. Shoulders on back. Cross the hands anywhere you want to. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. Now toes. 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 8. I was up too high. 1, 2, get that pulse. 3, 9. 1, 2, 3, 100. I know I owe a couple extra pulses because I didn't get that one. I went 1, 2, and up. So we get a couple extra pulses there. There we go. Oh, those burn. That's it for this dancer's focus cardio. Oh, that was fun. Different, but fun. Out there. After this, though, I'm backing it down this week, listening to my body, making myself. No weights, no pull-ups, no chin-ups. But up next is yoga and stretching with shoulder focus. Come on up. These squats now, they are checked off and boom, done.